stand by. We'll be getting YouTube going here in just a little bit. Want to make certain we've got everything where it needs to be. It is a little loud out there right now. We've got some areas of showers and thunderstorms moving on through, most of which are pretty much already done at this time, and not a lot holding on. We don't have any more severe weather to talk about. Time is just past quarter till 10 Eastern time, and we'll continue again to see the potential for more showers and thunderstorms into tomorrow, but got some pretty good lightning going on out there and some pretty heavy rainfall as well. This is Weather Overtime. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Anna, giving you an update as to what's going on with our weather in the News 12 viewing area. This is, again, Tuesday night, the 14th. We're almost halfway through the month and just about 2 weeks to go until the official start of hurricane season. So in the Atlantic, tomorrow the hurricane season begins for the Eastern Pacific. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Let me make certain that everything is working here first before we get too far gone, and it looks like okay, good. We are good to go. So welcome to the show. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, for right now, most of the heaviest stuff has moved onwards for most of the area. We did manage to get some pretty good gusts of wind and some pretty heavy amounts of rainfall. Still some pretty good lightning taking place this evening. Island Cove Marina and Resort seeing again some of that lightning off into the background there, looking off to the west where we would get a pretty good sunset. A lot of clouds, a lot of heavy rainfall moving in from Raccoon Mountain off in the distance, and that storm system right toward the camera in the course of the last couple of hours, most of which again has gone back toward the northeast. We'll take a look at radar coming up here in just a little while. Lee Point, a little bit better visibility at this time, as we did see again some very heavy rainfall. Could have been some small hail in there. Downtown Chattanooga, don't know if they got in all of the Lookouts game tonight, way back over toward AT&T Field, and that again is looking at Coolidge Park on the North Shore. Tennessee River moving through in this location, and not seeing again too much rainfall at this time frame. We did have some rain left over on the camera lens and some pretty breezy winds as well from much of the area. Let's take a look at current conditions real quick before we get going. Temperatures have cooled off by about 5 to 6 degrees after that front moved on through, after that storm system moved on through. We do have a warm front in the area. Now it looks like we're going to be switching back to the north, maybe as that next cold front begins to rotate on through. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little while. Let me park this right now in the mode so we can take a look and see what's going on for Weather Overtime. Looking at the heaviest amount of thunderstorms taking place just over to the east of Chattanooga. Again, it's about 10 till 10 Eastern time. Heaviest thunderstorms at this point around Cleveland, Collegedale, back up toward east of Soddy Daisy and Middle Valley. That moving off to the north and to the east. We'll put about an hour spin on this and watch this move up from northeastern Alabama. These were severe not too long ago, about an hour and a half ago, but there's really not that much left of them at this time. So we are seeing some leftover rainfall back around Dunlap, Walden, Soddy Daisy, but most of the activity again moving back off toward the east. Taking a bit of a larger view at this time, there are some more thunderstorms back to the west of us. These could wander through Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama, so this could be a bit of an issue tonight as we see more of these storms forming just to the west of I-65. So those will be heading through. We did have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. The last county was Jackson County in Alabama. Now all the counties are dropped. And so far, let me just double check one more time here to see what's going on for mesoscale discussions. There is so far no indication that no other watches are going to be issued for later on tonight. So definitely some good news there. Going to take a look down to the lower southwest of the viewing area. Some thunderstorms trying to get going again around Guntersville and also back up to around Albert Albertville, not Albertsville. Sorry about that. Heaviest thunderstorms south and west of Hartselle, Alabama, all the way down to I-22 east of Hamilton. So we may pick up some of this activity going through parts of DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama over the next couple of hours. But beyond, and maybe some more thunderstorms back to the west, approaching Middle Tennessee. More potential of issues there. It looks like, again, for now, outside of some scattered showers and some rumbles of thunder, we're not going to be seeing anything else. The Storm Prediction Center is not showing any potential of anything else developing at this time, so definitely good news on that. Taking a look at the severe weather chances, it was a good possibility that we were seeing, again, more stronger weather into the last few hours. We did have a slight risk of severe weather taking place on the scale up here for all of the News 12 viewing area on the last forecast, which was about 6, 7, 8 hours old, somewhere in there. The brand new forecast just came out about an hour ago, give or take, from where we are. And again, it's a lesser marginal threat of severe weather. So that, again, some good news. There is still the potential, a wider potential of some severe weather, but the threat at this time appears to be very much on the lower side than what we saw earlier. Now into tomorrow, that threat heads east of us. We start seeing the potential, excuse me a second, I have to keep my soda cans out of the way. Looking at more potential of severe weather east of the News 12 viewing area, but also watching well back to our west as we start to see another chance of severe weather heading our way. We've got this pattern shaping up to where we have thunderstorms for a couple of days, a bit of a gap, and then thunderstorms for a couple of days, and then a gap, and then another chance of showers and thunderstorms. And that seems to be about the way we're going to be looking at this all the way into the later part of May. So that is what we're looking at again for right now. But the threat for severe weather diminishing as we go into around the next so far about 24 hours, and most of the activity gone. We have no current warnings just before 10 o'clock. We do have some decent amounts of rain out there across much of the area and more coming up from the southwest. So I don't think we're quite done with the rain at this point in time. Kind of wet in downtown. A lot of showers and thunderstorms move through here. Wet parking lots and a wet Aquarium Way. Looking just to the south of the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga. You can find this view on the Chattanooga weather webcam, some lightning off in the distance. You can get that at tnaqua.org if you'd like to take a look around at what's going on. Possibility of getting more showers and thunderstorms into tomorrow. I think what we're going to be looking at tomorrow morning is mainly going to be patchy fog and mainly showers, but there could be a rumble of thunder into tomorrow morning. And then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, picking up another chance of thunderstorms. But so far, again, it does not look to be a huge threat. It does look to be, again, the possibility of seeing more thunderstorms off and on through the afternoon and evening hours. So if you have outdoor plans, no matter what that involves, field day for the students or golf for yourself, temperatures back in the mid to upper 70s, some breezy winds at times, and the cloudy skies will keep most of the sunshine away. We will be getting back into sunshine as we go into around Thursday from what it looks like for right now. Let's go ahead excuse me, and time that out. Our front, as we have seen just back to the north of us, we've got a warm front making its way up that direction, and that is again the push of warm air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico with that storm system back over portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley here. This is, for all intents and purposes, storm system number one. There's plenty more coming through, and as this system rotates on through, more chances again of some showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be on the strong, possibly borderline severe side, but it does not look like too much at this time. Now going out from here, if my maps would do what they're supposed to. There we go. All right, so heading out from there, we have storm system number 2 on approach over portions of the Rockies and the Great Plains areas. That is going to be moving through toward about Friday and Saturday. In between here and there, we've got the potential of, again, some gap in between right about for Thursday into early Friday. Doesn't look like too much coming through here as this system number 1 again peels out. Storm system number 2 makes its way in. Storm system number 3, as we go into next week, is still back over the limb of the planet into the northern Pacific, and that is where we may see again the potential for some more thunderstorms as we go into around next week. It does not again look to be a huge potential problem, but it does look like we will be seeing again the potential for some rain and thunderstorms over the course of the next several days off and on. Now, we showed this to you last night, and this is kind of a neat little thing to have around here. Let me see if I can get rid of this for just a second here. There we go. Okay, what you're looking at here on the lower side, the dusty sort of tan colors going upwards to brown. The darker the colors get is how much more intense energy is in the atmosphere. This is called CAPE, or convective available potential energy. And that shows you where the best potential of thunderstorms may be popping up because of the heavier amounts of energy stirring up the atmosphere. Now, whoops, sorry about that. I've got a limited workspace here. I'm sorry I'm knocking into things here for tonight. Let's go back one step here, and now we'll put the radar on top of all that. This is a future radar, so this is not what's happening right now. This is what is expected to happen later on. Now, through tonight, again, we start off with a decent amount of available energy, and then that diminishes into tomorrow morning and takes most of the chance of showers, maybe thunderstorms with it. We pick up some scattered activity tomorrow as we get the sun to heat up the lower portions of the atmosphere, and that gives us, again, some of the green and blue and yellow markers here, widespread scattered possibilities of showers and or thunderstorms. Then we go into Wednesday evening, and that uplift again, all that energy in the atmosphere pretty much goes away. There's not much as we go into Thursday, some chances back toward the northwest of us, and then as the energy in the atmosphere heats up, we look again for the possibility of the energy is there, but a bit of a gap with no real amounts of moisture. That does a good job of giving us the energy. There's lift, but there's not enough moisture to create the thunderstorms. There will be back toward the Ohio and the mid-Mississippi Valley. But then we go into around Thursday evening, and not much happens here. But then we look off to the west, and this could be a decent amount of energy brewing up from the Gulf of Mexico around portions of Texas. And then that moves our way Friday night into around Saturday morning. So again, what we've got is a potential of this repeat pattern going on into the course of the next several days. So if you have plans for outdoors, again, I would keep them, but I would be very wary of anything happening, as in trying to keep informed about what's going on with the weather, especially as we get into the course of the next week or so. That, again, is where we're looking for potential problems. Overnight tonight, we again see the possibility, I think, early in the morning, it looks like into Middle Tennessee, the plateau, back to the south of I-40. There could be, and also northern Georgia, could be some isolated areas of patchy fog, less than a mile in some areas, especially back up around I-24 where they had that nasty semi-trailer accident with plenty of backups there. But there will be isolated potential of fog as we go into peak of the week Wednesday morning. So not seeing, again, a huge problem, but there could be some slowdowns out there. Chip Chapman will have your forecast coming up a little bit later, 5 a.m. Eastern on News 12. Smoke from the south and smoke from the north. We're getting a lot of smoke surrounding the area from wildfires, across hundreds of wildfires, sleeper wildfires that burned through the underbrush all winter long and are now popping back up into and to take in more drier fallen foliage. So all this smoke from these sleeper fires. Down to the south, we've got, again, more fires over parts of Mexico. Those are making their way up this direction. We've got smoke around the area. Not really seeing a lot in the area, at least just yet, but it is possible that we could be seeing that potential of some more smoke heading our direction, and that could be an issue for air quality to where we are. But as of right now, thanks to the rain, we have not gotten any new fires popping up anywhere across the area. So not from the visible infrared imaging radiometer suite system satellites, or VIIRS as it is called. We would have red fire markers on this map. Not seeing anything for the last few hours, so definitely some good news again on that. Let's get to the forecast before we go too far. With the extracurricular stuff we have coming up. Skies are breaking up a little bit. We've got some cloud cover, but also some thinning of the clouds out over portions of the area back to the west of Island Cove, so looking a little bit better here. Fog possible tomorrow morning. More potential excuse me, of rain and thunderstorms on Wednesday, less so on Thursday, and then another round of showers and thunderstorms Friday late into the weekend. I think I would have some indoor activities ready for the weekend just in case. And then a bit of a gap coming up Sunday into Monday, not much, but just a bit. And then back toward Monday, Tuesday, and early Wednesday, we could see the potential of some more thunderstorms out there. So storms, a bit of a gap, storms, a bit of a gap, and then we repeat that forecast all the way on through. It looks to be, again, the best potential for thunderstorms will be with us through tonight into tomorrow, and then Saturday into Sunday, more widespread activity there, and then Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, about a week ahead of this where we are now. That is where we're going to have to watch and see what goes on. We have no indication of any severe weather all the way through this particular time frame. So far looking pretty good, and it does not seem to be giving us any major problems for right now. But it is absolutely something that we do need to keep a track of, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more. On a more peaceful note, thank you very much, News 12 viewer Ricky Broom from Somerville, Georgia. Nice pastel colors of sunrise at his house there. That's our weather window picture of the day, brought to you by Langley Roofing. And if you've got pictures, we'd love to see what you're seeing, so drop them to us. Email them. Drop them to our social media comment sections with a location or a description if you would be so kind. And then also you can go to our website, wdef.com/weather, to find out more about what you're seeing out there. And yours could be the next Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. So thank you very much to everybody who sent in some amazing pictures over the last several days. 74 the high, 7 below our normal high temperature, about almost 20 degrees cooler than our last record high set back in 2018. A record low that hasn't been broken since 1941. 66 our low temperature today, and 58 our normal. So below on the high, ahead a little bit higher than the normal low temperature, and so far 0.12 of an inch reported. That gives us a little bit more of a surplus for the month and brings our deficit down a little bit to just below half an inch for the year. So we are doing pretty good on rainfall, right about where we should be, and a decent surplus for the month of May. It would help if I could enunciate things for here tonight. So that, again, good news on there for the possibility of seeing anything going on in the way of major drought, which is not in our forecast at this time. I want to talk a little bit more. Another powerful punch from the sun. The sun goes in 11-year cycles, so we are at what is called solar maximum. We'll be dropping back down over the next 11 years before the next round comes up a few years later. We have had another hit from a solar flare. We had the flare last week, which caused the aurora in and around our area, which was spectacular, and able to see that. But we have also had numerous from that same area of sunspots blasting off the sun. The electromagnetic storm moves out at the speed of light, crosses the solar system from the sun to the earth in about 8 to 9 minutes. What follows is a launch of plasma, superheated ionized gas, which launches itself off the surface. Billions of tons of gas belched out from the sun. One belch has already occurred. It has been occurring for a while now, and we have seen the signature of this hit taking place in the form of radio blackouts. Well, we had another belch from the sun. This one is from that area, but since that sunspot area is rotating away from the planet, we are orbiting the sun, and as that spot rotates away quickly, then the blast goes out away from where we happen to be. So this next blast, this next coronal mass ejection, as it's called, is heading ahead and away from us and does not look to be a threat for right now. So that's the good news. And even though if it were to be a hit, it would be happening at some point in time toward about the next 2 to 3 days. That does not appear, again, to be Earth-directed, so good news on that. But today's flare was bigger than last week's flare that created the auroras. So if this had hit our planet at the right time and the right angle and with the right amount of energy, we may have seen another round of auroras taking place. It's possible, but again, for right now, this second round, this second coronal mass ejection is not aimed toward us, so we do not see a potential of that for right now. We did have, again, some good radio blackouts. We had an R3 radio interference blackout system going through, caused by this flare from off the sun. So we did have some radio interference today, some GPS interference at times, but it was not anywhere close to what we saw last week. I have to mention also, it was measured at an 8.8. It was recorrected to an 8X flare 8.7. And if you know anything about the scales, the X flares are the most powerful. There's X, there's G, there's, I believe, C and A, going down the list, getting weaker and weaker. Just for comparison, the X-class flares we had last week and today's, again, about an 8.5 last week, if I recall correctly, and this one today about an 8.7. The Carrington event that happened in 1859, where so much energy came through the atmosphere that it caused a glow at nighttime. Telegraphy operators pushing the Morse code key got zapped because of the power lines, and the telephone lines carrying those signals absorbed that energy and transmitted it through anything metal. That event was 10 times stronger than what we experienced from this flare or yet last week's flare in the last about 36, 48 hours. So the Carrington event, big, 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 big. This one, not quite so much, about 10 times weaker than what we saw back in 1859. But that was the most powerful one that we have ever seen in modern times. Really neat to be able to see comparisons on that, but we could suffer a lot of damage if something like the Carrington event happened again today. So we need to think about that safety and plan ahead for that, and that's why we need to study the sun and the atmosphere and all sorts of other stuff to make certain that we are understanding more about how our sun works out there. All right, from the World Meteorological Organization, our friend in roofing.com weather/science poll of the day. A lot of people like to live on the coastlines. They like to be able to be close to the ocean for recreation. They like to be able to be around for fishing, ease of making a good catch, selling that, eating that, to make certain that humans are able to stay alive. A lot of people like to move there for the climate, etc. There's a whole bunch of reasons. But the trouble is, in a lot of the world, a lot of places, not just in North America and on the American coastline, but in parts of Africa, India, into South Central Asia, Japan, China, into around the Philippines. Lots of places around the world have tropical cyclones which can smack into them with some very powerful, deadly amounts of force. And over the last 2 to 3 decades, more and more people keep moving into those tropical cyclone-prone areas. Well, what's the population increase? What has it been like out there? Has it increased 100%, 150%, 200%, or 300% in the collective areas of those places that get tropical cyclones. It actually, the correct answer, that's what was the correct answer. The majority of the correct votes went to the correct answer. So 58% of you said 200%, and that is absolutely correct. Worrisome, yes, but also correct. So also able to see some really neat questions coming up from the World Meteorological Organization. If you'd like to see more from the WMO, you can go to wmo.int on the web, or just search World Meteorological Organization. New poll goes up at midnight, and again, you can use the QR code on your screen, or you can go to our website at wdef.com/vote now if you'd like to participate. Another question again coming up tomorrow, so check in and see what is the next question of the day out there. Let me just take a quick look at the Space Weather Prediction Center and give you an eye as to what is happening for right now. They have various dashboards available for emergency management, GPS, radio, satellite, stuff like that. And for just weather enthusiasts, we have these charts and these animations that show the next round. There is our first wave of energy, the first coronal mass ejection, and there goes the second one, that one heading off toward, way away toward its orbit. The green dot is Earth, the yellow dot in the middle is the sun, and there are two satellites orbiting on either side of the Earth. The red one is stereo A, the blue one is stereo B, so we can get a better view as to what's happening, looking out and away from the planet Earth. That will help us track these pulses of energy of the ionized gas that rolls through portions of the area. So again, things were quiet after the last blast, but then we had that first one coming on through, and that second one again overtaking the first one, but aiming away from the Earth. So it looks like that's going to be directed out and away, ahead of where the Earth is going to be heading. So it does not look to be a major threat for right now. All this is very cool to take a look at, and if you'd like to know more, all you have to do is go to the Space Weather Prediction Center, and that can give you an idea as to what may be coming our direction. A lot of cool stuff in here to take a look at. So if you have the opportunity to take a look from NOAA, what happens on the sun can affect us down on the ground, and that's very important to remember and to keep an eye on. And that is why science, engineering, technology, mathematics is so important, and why we need more engineers, more mathematicians, more astronomers, more astrophysicists, more of all of that. And that's why science is so cool, and that would be a great job for younger people to consider out there, considering what we may be experiencing from the sun at its worst, and then also again from things like asteroids and things of that nature that we need to protect ourselves against. So really need to be able to find a little bit more about that out there. Let me just go back a little bit and show you this one portion, going to my Twitter page at twitter.com/AustinOnic. We did have some thunderstorms again into the near future. That could be a bit of an issue. There is the potential, again, if you saw the aurora last week, this is something to really pay attention to, because it is very important, but also how you can participate in citizen science. There's a website called Aurorasaurus. Let me see if this will come up properly. Again, Aurorasaurus. If you see the northern lights, and a lot of you did last week, and you sent in those pictures, and thank you very much for sending those in. If you saw it, your information about what you saw, when, how strong, what colors it was, can help scientists study the aurora and the effects it has down toward the ground. The website is called aurorasaurus.org. If you'd like to participate and show them where and when you saw the aurora last week, or if you have to be way up north, if you happen to be up there and you want to check in with that, good opportunity to be able to see that out there. So if you'd like to participate, your data that you provide on this map, just like spotting a fireball for amsmeteors.org, this is a great place to go to find out more information about who saw what and when, and then your data can help to, again, improve forecasts when it comes to the aurora and finding out more. It's really cool just to look and see about, again, who saw what in what region of the world. You can go all over the planet and take a look at what everybody saw at verified points in time. So really need to see that. Again, that is aurorasaurus.org if you'd like to find out more about what actually happens. And again, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on the potential of what might be heading our way from another possible, again, blast in the near future, because we are at solar maximum. The sunspot that caused these is rotating around the backside of the sun, so we won't see it for a while. But because the sun rotates as well in its orbit around the galaxy, we might see that solar storm reappear, that area of sunspots. If it holds together, we might see that in another week to 10 days coming around the left-hand side of the sun. That would be kind of interesting to see if it survives, if it is still strong, and if it can still launch another solar storm, and if that happens our way. There's a lot of conditional phrases there, but it is possible that we could see something like that coming our direction. So keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know a little bit more about what is going on there. Think that ought to do it. I think we've covered all the bases for tonight to keep you updated as to what's happening. Again, you can find me on all these websites, lichess.org, chess.com, Instagram, Tumblr, Counter Social Post, Mastodon, Twitter/X, and Twitch and YouTube as well. I'm not on Facebook right now. Somebody tried to hack my account, and Facebook will not let me back in. So until Facebook accepts any of the about 7 or 8 forms of ID I have given them, I can't do anything. Again, as of right now, maybe that's not an entirely big loss, so we'll wait and see if Facebook ever actually lets me on board, and again, at any point in time in the semi-near future. If that happens, you will be the first to know, and we'll keep you updated on that. It's very quiet after those storms rolled on through, and I think we're not going to be seeing too much of anything else in the way of major problems. No severe weather watches being issued as we're about ready to sign off here, but so far, again, decently quiet for the time being. So we'll go ahead and call it quits for tonight. We'll have more. Kay Blevins will be in with the news. Rick Nyman has sports tonight on News 12 at 11. I'll have the weather forecast for you. Chip Chapman will have more coming up tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, so please stay tuned for more on that. And of course, we'll have more details on your forecast, always available at WDEF.com. That's also where you can contact me at aonic@WDEF.com at the lower portion of your screen there. Thanks for joining us for Tuesday evening, the 14th of May, about 2 weeks and a few hours until the beginning of hurricane season in the Atlantic, and this season could be a bumper crop of storms. We'll take a closer look at what the forecast is calling for tomorrow, so stay tuned for more on that. And again, thanks for joining us for WDEF News 12 from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We'll have more on your forecast again coming up on News 12.